I did want to talk to you about this because I've been thinking about it for probably the last week. Um, did the Pistons brass lie to the fans?
Did the Pistons brass about the play-in, about the playoffs, or the expectations for the season?
So let me rephrase it a little bit.
Okay.
They have never called this a rebuild. They've always called it a restoring. They told us they were going to be competitive. Have the Pistons lied to Pistons fans so we don't think this is an actual rebuild?
Yeah, I would say by every account it has been a rebuild. It hasn't been an extreme rebuild like some teams like Oklahoma City or, some teams that just, or like, the process Sixers or anything like that. It hasn't been that extreme, but yeah, it's definitely been a rebuild. Like, yeah, it's definitely been a rebuild. I think they were lying to us saying the whole restore thing. Cause I don't know what, if we were just trying to restore about, I don't even know what we were trying to restore. The glory days, we've been so far removed from them. It's definitely a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back even before Troy Weaver was here. I mean, they started rebuilding when Ed Stefanski wore
Yep.
like every damn hat. It seemed like he was a GM, he was a janitor, he was doing everything. Like, you traded Andre Drummond for was it Brandon Knight and John Henson and a second round pick.
Yep.
You buy out Reggie Jackson. You don't even see what the market is for him. So you started a rebuild. You hired Troy Weaver. He trades Luke Kennard for Sadiq Bey. He does a sign and trade with Christian Wood with Houston. So you can draft Isaiah Stewart. You draft Killian Hayes. You get lucky. You win the lottery. You get Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Livers out of that draft. Then you draft Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Presida, who's a draft and stash, Cooper Visa, who's a draft and stash. This has been a rebuild. And like the fact that they're like, oh, this is restoring. They're like, they even have restore t-shirts that you can buy on the Piston shop. Like they're so allergic to the word rebuild that I think if they were more if they just said, hey, this is a rebuild, it's going to take time, fans' expectations wouldn't be so high because I see every day fans like, we need to fire Casey. We need to push for the playoffs. Like fans are just so sick of it.
Yep.
Like if you were more honest and upfront with this fan base, I don't think they would be as angry, but that's just me.
No, I agree with you. And that's a great point. And you're right. They do sell the restore stuff. I got 3 shirts in my closet from one of the Pistons games that say restore. I thought the restore brand, that whole message behind it was so stupid because I didn't know what we were restoring. You can say the glory days and that's easy. But again, we have been so far removed from them and we have no direction for this team. So you can't, if you were going to say like you could have done a restore in like 08, like because we were just a couple of years removed from being a contender, but it's been so far, so long. Just be honest with us and tell us that it was a rebuild and we would be off the backs of some Pistons. Well, maybe some of us would be, but yeah, I don't think there would be so much anger in Pistons circles, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, or any other social media platform, if they had just been honest. That's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, like Casey said, we're going to be competitive. In the back of my mind, you know what competitive means? Winning.
Yep.
Like you can be competitive all you want, but it doesn't translate to wins. You're just pissing fans off. Like they're so allergic to the word rebuild, and I don't understand it. Like rebuilding isn't a bad thing. Like, yeah, you made 2 playoff stints with your core before Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey with Andre Drummond and all those guys in 2016 against the Cavs, and then I believe in was it 2018 with Blake and all those guys. Like
against Milwaukee.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, not every team's going to win a championship and they rebuild, but like, I, to me, it's just something that I've been thinking about, and I just don't understand why this team is afraid to just commit to it.
Yeah, you know what else says you're not a competitive team? Being the worst defense in the NBA. If you were going to be competitive, you wouldn't be the worst. You would give us a fighting chance every single time those guys took the court, and we don't get it. So
I remember open practice, Dwayne Casey said that he wanted the Pistons to be a top 5 defense.
Well, got a little more work to do, Coach Casey. A little more work to do before you become a top 5 defense.
I'm telling you, every time in open practice they say something like crazy. Like I remember when it was Andre Drummond's last year. He's like, "We're trying to push for the playoffs," and they didn't make the playoffs.
Was Dwayne Casey like, I want to be a top top 5 defense at the end of this year, at the end of his coaching tenure in Detroit. What did he mean
No,
by that?
you said for this year, this team. I was just like, oh, okay.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, I think that was a great point. And again, just to reiterate, yeah, I think the Pistons franchise lied to the fans, lied to the fan base about this, and it's inexcusable because and rightfully so. We've just been dying for a winning team for years now. That's all we want. It's all we want.
I know we didn't get it to talk about it, but some people are talking about it in the YouTube chat. If you are watching live, the city jerseys by Big Sean.